This has been something on my mind for quite a while, but I think I haven't been in the right space to do it until now.
Welcome to MultiformPTSD. Here's your host, Tracy Lowry.
Hey everybody, just wanted to let you know that I'm about to do another podcast show, and I'm so excited to do this episode today. And I just wanted to let you see behind the scenes. Like, it may look a whole lot more put together on live, but this is what it looks like on my end of things, okay? So don't say that you can't do something without spending a whole lot of money or having a whole lot of equipment, because I'm about to show you that it can be done on the cheap until you have the means to do more. And you can see me behind the scenes. So I hope you are ready, because I am so ready to do this. And thanks for watching. So excited. All right, you guys ready to see? Ready to do this? On here, I have a visual background. But you guys right here, you're seeing the real thing. I am here in my living room on my comfy couch. I bought my favorite blanket that my son made for me. Here on my lap, because on the video you won't see, but maybe here up, and I'll have a virtual background, so it'll have my branding on there, it'll have my logo behind me, nice white background. Pretty neat. So excited. I kind of get ready by wrapping, just because it kind of gets my mouth in a better place to enunciate maybe. And so I'm not fumbling over my words. I wish I was live right now, because then I could ask you, like, throw out a rap song, 90s, early 200s, the parties here on the west side. So I get kind of hyped, get centered in, balanced, blessed. Already did my yoga for the day. I'll just kind of go over, she sent me some topics that we would be discussing, I think, really very light exposure. So I wrote down my answers to some of those questions, just so I could kind of be prepared. So I'm just going to go over some of these questions and my answers. That way I'm ready. I apologize if my voice is a little crazy. I'm still recovering from the darn COVID. Whew, so much. When I think of, when I speak out, I speak a lot on PTSD and past traumas. And I was blessed. I can now say that I believe I was blessed with multiple different kinds of trauma. So I could speak out on platforms such as yours and mine, and really speak out and be able to touch people, so I can let them know that I get it, I understand it. And so we can move, like you said, move forward and learn how to grow and heal from there. So, and I hate going into it, because like I could list like a ton, and I don't want to make it sound like, oh, poor me, because that's not how I feel. Honestly, now I'm to the point where I feel blessed. But I had very abusive relationships that I had to like flee where I was living to a completely different side of the country, and like my name was on nothing. Literally scared for my life. I've been in, like I said, abusive relationships, both physically and mentally and spiritually and sexually, and I've been raped. I was in a major car accident that had me recovering from physical brain injury for quite a while. It took me a long time to kind of recover, but I did. Multiple miscarriages. I was basically left at the altar, which was just life-shattering for a while. Just multiple different aspects of trauma. And the problem was, at the time, I saw myself as kind of this strong woman. I didn't need help. I didn't need anyone. I didn't need any talk therapy. I didn't need to talk to anyone about it. I was fine. I had strong shoulders. I'm fine, right? And so it just kept piling and piling and piling and piling until I finally broke and hit what, like you said, rock bottom. And I wanted to take my life. And so that's kind of the general story of how I got to that point. Victimhood, absolutely. Because I would, why I believe that, in God. And I was just like, why would a true loving God let me go through this? And then why this? And then why this? And then why would he let me go through all of this? Like, I was very much victim mentality, and not vocally necessarily. In fact, most people in my life have no idea most of what I've been through, because I wasn't vocally victimizing myself, but in my head, it was just the world was against me. No one loved me. I wasn't good enough. I mean, it was a very self-inflicted, partially really dark time. And like you said, I think it brought more of that to me because I needed to see it. And it took me a while to see it. It really did. But it was when I finally hit rock bottom that I finally was like, this isn't working for me, obviously. And I kind of dug into gurus like you that really just brought up my vibration, that helped me in my healing. I did both medical and holistic ways of trying to get through that healing process, because I wanted to take my life, my trauma, my victimhood into victory. I wanted to make it my story. I wanted to turn my life around. So I was the leading star role of it, if you want to call it that. Be the Cinderella story. Just one? I had quite a few. Like I said, in the beginning, I didn't see all the dark holes until I started working through, and my counselor or whoever I was talking to would be like, do you realize that in and of itself, people come in for help for just that one thing? Like, and now we have to deal with all of these things. Like, when you get better, you need to be helping people, not do that. Sadly enough, I was not self-aware enough. I just kept myself busy, just busy. I had a job that I loved. I have family that loved me. It wasn't that my whole life was this deep, dark pit. I mean, in a lot of ways, I had a very normal, good life, mixed in with a whole lot of trauma. My family somehow knew that there was an issue, and they showed up and got me some help. I was by myself in a dark emergency room, and I couldn't sleep, but I was exhausted. And I remember thinking, this is your time. This is your choice. If you don't change things around, you're going to be right back here or worse. And there's people who love you and depend on you. And this is not what you want for your life or for theirs. And so I said a quick, very intense prayer, and just really prayed for help and strength and the will, because I had none, obviously, at that point, to figure it out. And it wasn't, I wasn't great the next day. I mean, it's been a journey from there. But I would say that was the turning point, was probably right there. I say this to encourage. It's not going to sound encouraging in the beginning, but it wasn't, I didn't feel great the next day, and I wasn't motivated to read, and I wasn't motivated to reach out for help. That it wasn't that kind of a turnaround for me. And I don't say that to be discouraging in any way, but if you feel yourself in that place of, okay, I didn't have that moment, I didn't have that flip, I don't think you go from that low to a complete flip overnight. I'm sure there are miracles that happen. I was not one of them. So if you're not one of them either, don't take that to heart. There's still hope. Really, I think the first thing I had to do was I started talk therapy and medication to kind of help the physical aspect and the talking it out. And again, the first counselor I went to was horrible. So, and again, I say that because it is so important if you're reaching out for someone for talk therapy or professional help, it's important you find someone that you click with, that you feel you're going to be able to work with. And oftentimes, it's not always the first person you go to. Sometimes you have to kind of do some searching to find the right source for you. So I don't say that to discourage you. It's just part of it, unfortunately. It took me a little bit, and then I finally got in a groove and found some people. Really, my first step was having to come to realization of what had happened in my life and what I really felt, because for decades, literally, I was just shoving it away. Just, I'm fine, I'm good, keep plugging. I could be pretty goal orientated. I was in nursing school, and I had to go for my next test, and then I had a nursing job, and it was a very high intense 4, and it was just go, 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 go. So I had to really come to grips with what I really needed to work through. And coming out of it, this is kind of the analogy I use. If you're surrounded by forest, and everything that you love is on the other side of that forest, ignoring the forest isn't going to make it go away. It actually makes it grow. And you get more branches, you get more foliage, you get more of the stuff growing from underneath, and then it gets even harder. So you have to go through the forest to get to the other side. So you have to go, I feel, through those feelings, but don't stay there. You have to go through how you really felt, give it a voice, whether it be, like you mentioned, art or talk therapy. There's many ways that we could talk about, but whatever it is, you have to give them a voice, kind of work through it, so then you get to the other side. And then there's a freedom that comes with that the light, the weight just lifts off your shoulders layer by layer. And, I'm not done. It's never a journey where you're just done. But it's less hard. But that was the first thing I had to do, was really just come to grips with what happened, work through that, because I wasn't before for years and years. Then I was able to work on the healing side of things. Honestly, as long as it is a positive thing to do, I don't recommend going to the negative coping mechanisms like the drinking or the drugs or the sex or the pornography, or, take all of those out. Other than that, try anything. I kind of got to the point where my counselor or my psychiatrist would offer these things, and I'd be like, no, I'll try anything at this point. And in doing that, I found that I could halfway draw. I had no idea that I could halfway do that. No one else is going to buy my stuff. I'm not saying I'm that good, but I used it. I used art, and I would draw. I call it journal draw. I would draw how I felt, or I would draw an event and kind of portray how I felt at that time when it happened. And it became part of my therapy. I actually wrote a book, and those became my illustrations for it. That version of the book will never be seen by anybody else. But it actually has evolved into a more helpful book now that I'm working on. But I didn't know I could do that. And it was me going, all right, I'll try. If you really don't think that's something for you, I try coloring. They make therapeutic coloring books, and you can go online and download free coloring pages for adults, or you can do kids. Who cares? No one's judging. No one else has to know. But just getting that emotion out, and it's surprising how much that can really help you work through things and kind of release. Talk therapy, obviously. I totally did the meditations, the affirmations, yoga. I loved yoga. But it helped me get stronger physically, which I believe our mind, body, and spirit all should be in one. So if you're getting better and stronger in one area, the rest are going to kind of come with you. But it helps spiritually, and your breathing, and it helps with so many different things. I used to run. I can't do that right now anymore because I hurt my back, and that's a whole other issue. But exercise, just getting things moving. I did and tried a lot. Reading is huge. And one thing I like to say is our input plus our environment equals our output. So when I talk to my mechanic friends, I'll say, okay, if you have a regular gas running car, what happens if you put diesel fuel in there? It's still fuel, right? Well, it's not right for the car's not going to work. So it's not going to give you the output you want. Same thing with what we eat. Here's the nurse in me coming out. I hope it's not too crude, but we poop out what we eat and the environment that we are around. That's what comes out because that's what it puts in. So it's so important to really listen to your body when you're watching a TV show, when you're reading anything, listening to music, when you're trying to figure out what to watch on Netflix or what to listen to on YouTube. What you put in is going to affect you huge. There for a while, I couldn't watch anything other than like dance movies, figure skating movies, Friends. I watched Friends because it made me laugh. Kevin Hart, the comedian. I mean, I was very, very aware, and I still am. I don't have to be quite as censored, but you have to be very careful what you're putting in, what you're listening to, and the people that you have in your life. It really pays a toll on your healing one way or another. So sometimes you have to eliminate or at least limit some people's access to you, and then you got to find those that are going to be your warriors and your angels by your side, and you keep them close. Other than what I've already said, is wherever you are right now, it's okay. Your feelings are never wrong. It's how we respond to those feelings and how we react to those feelings that can be better or not. And wherever you are, it's just a matter of leveling up. And that, because it's just impossible to go from the lowest of lows to the highest of highs that quick. I just don't see that as possible. What you can do is, if I still do this to this day, if I'm having a really bad day and I'm just like, am I going to get too ecstatically happy by the end of the day? Probably not, unless I win the lottery or something really huge, and then it won't last. But I can move up. I can pick a book to read. I can pick a movie to watch. I can pick time to sit and pet my dog, who is an emotional support animal that isn't licensed or anything, but she's just the sweetest. She's amazing. And just time with her can just lift me up, level up. So the same thing with recovery and wherever you are in your journey. Don't worry about going from red to green. Don't worry about going from bottom to high. Just level up and continue to level up. And there's going to be times where you're going to slip back down. It's life. There's always going to be something that can knock us down. And so you just level up, level up. The good news is, if you're way down here and you level up a little bit and you slide back down, your body knows, your spirit knows, your soul knows how to get there, and it can get there quicker once you've already done it. So then you just work up those levels again, and at first you think, it took me like 10 months to get myself to that point. Oh my goodness, that doesn't mean it has to take you 10 more months to get to that point again. Your body knows. You just have to remind it, you just have to support it. And our bodies just have a way of knowing. We just need to support our bodies, and they heal so well as long as we back out of the way sometimes and just stop putting all the resistance against it. So just wherever you are in the process, just level up. And even if you're not down at the lowest of lows, if you're just someone who's reaching for something better in life, that's what I like to say is we're just level up. I make it sound easy, but it's not necessarily easy, but it's simple. And that's how we do it. All right. Thanks for watching.
Hey, I just wanted to say before you go, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing with your friends. Go ahead and make sure you subscribe, like, and follow us on social media. I am Tracy Lowry, and we will be here every Monday, ready to help you in your struggle. All right, I gotta go. See you next episode. Mic drop.